Welcome back to Ask Allison. Here is today's question. I thought getting clients would be easier than this. What am I doing wrong? First, I want to thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring Ask Allison. If you're looking for an all-in-one practice management system, you need to check out TherapyNotes. It's top rated on Trustpilot. It does all the back-end pieces that a private practice requires. You can schedule, charge folks, bill insurance if you do that, do your notes, send reminders, store your intake paperwork. They have basically everything you need. You get 2 months free to check it out if you use the promo code ABUNDANT at checkout. So without looking at your specific marketing, I can't say for sure, but I can tell you the top 3 things that therapists do or don't do that keep their practices stuck. The first is that they don't truly niche. There are 3 camps of non-nichers: those that don't want to, those that have a hard time choosing, and those that think they're niched but aren't. So let's start with the first. Let's say you don't want to niche. That is totally your prerogative, but know that you will build slower, you're at greater risk of burnout, and you're much more likely to make less per session. Most of the reasons that you don't want to niche are rooted in myth. The second one are the people who are having a really hard time choosing. They're the ones most likely to ask me if it's okay to have 3 niches. And again, it's your prerogative. But if I'm looking for therapy and I see my problem sandwiched between struggles I see as very different from mine, I don't see that therapist as the therapist for me. For instance, if I have postpartum depression and I see someone whose website says specializing in substance abuse issues, PPD, and recovery from narcissistic abuse, I'm going to keep looking and find somebody who specializes exclusively in postpartum depression, or at least postpartum depression and some things that feel somewhat related. Not that those other things can't be, but you know where I'm going. The therapists who think they're niched but really aren't, they've zoomed out too much from the issue until it's so vague that clients don't recognize themselves in it. A really popular example is women in transition. I have worked with women since the early aughts and have never once heard a single client say they're coming into therapy because they're in transition. They say they're newly divorced, or they're empty nesters, or college is not feeling like the best 4 years of their life as promised, or they're new to this city. Don't be afraid to choose and to be really specific. Our ideal clients' problems are very specific to them. The second big issue is not knowing how to market. And we went to school for quite a while to become therapists. And if your program was anything like mine, there was no marketing training at all, maybe even some disdain at the thought of marketing. So I'm going to assume that you don't have an MBA on the side and that words like marketing and networking make you cringe a little. In the same way, there are best practices for therapy. There are best practices for marketing. Are there some effective strategies in both therapy and marketing that aren't considered best practices? Sure are, but I'm not going to recommend them for beginners. Before you get experimental with your marketing, learn the basics. It's a lot easier to learn than therapy, and I promise you that there are some strategies that are going to feel aligned, non-slimy, and even fun. Therapists have an advantage in marketing. Marketers work so hard to understand their target market's thoughts and feelings in order to speak to those things. And our clients literally tell us that stuff. We don't have to guess. And I want to be really, 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 really clear here that we should use that information in ethical, helpful ways. I strongly discourage any fear-based marketing. Instead, use your knowledge to provide helpful information for your potential clients so that they can make an informed decision about whether you're a good fit for them. Describe their pain on your website, for instance, so that they know you get it, that you have experience with clients like them, and you can help them. But don't under any circumstances insinuate that if they don't see you or get help now, their lives are going to become even worse. That's awful, and it's the kind of marketing that makes marketing look bad. You have the opportunity to make marketing an active service for people who may or may not become your clients. And that's what good marketing is. The last thing is too many marketing strategies at once. Whether you're a type A or you're more on like the shiny object side of things or both, a lot of therapists, as they get started in marketing, realize that there are helpful, non-slimy, fun ways to market, and they dive in with gusto. Here's the thing. Doing more marketing makes it less effective. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but it's like trying to do more therapy modalities. If you are trying to do IFS, DBT, CBT, ACT, EMDR, brain spotting, psychoanalytic, interpersonal, somatic, all in one session, or even in the course of one person's therapeutic experience with you, it's probably going to dilute the efficacy of your work, right? Mushing it all together isn't helpful. And it's the same with marketing. So I recommend committing to no more than 5 strategies. And most therapists are like, okay, wait, what's a strategy? What's a marketing strategy? So like having a website is one, networking is another. I like a mix of in-person and online, and a mix of set it and forget it, like an online listing, and ongoing, like a social media platform. You're a therapist, you're not a full-time marketer, and I don't want you to spend an equal amount of time marketing as you do therapizing. Yes, there's going to be a lot more marketing in the beginning, but once your marketing is set up, I really want you focused on doing the therapy that you love to do. Maintaining more than 5 strategies is going to make it really hard to do the strategies well, and it's going to take away from your therapy time and your energy. So to get back to that initial question of what am I doing wrong? I'm fairly confident it's one of these things. And I want you to be so gentle with yourself about that, because there's literally no way that you'd intuitively know these things. And we weren't taught them in school. So is there some correction to be made? Possibly, sure. We have a Know Your Niche course and a marketing fundamentals course in the Abundance Party. There are tons of other courses and trainings in there as well. It's $69 per month. Most therapists starting out with a new business can invest in that way. Plus, we have a really incredible community that will give you educated feedback about your niche in marketing. Most of the therapists who use what they learn in the Abundance Party end up with the 6-figure practices they were hoping for. And those that don't hit 6 figures, it's usually because they just don't want to see that many clients or don't want to charge a higher fee. And we are all about you building what you want. So you can join us over at abundanceparty.com, and I will talk with y'all later.